Hey guys, welcome to tonight's Big Brother 23 chat.
Oh, hi. It's episode 34.
It is.
There's only 3 episodes left after this one.
Only? I'm saying, how are there still 3? I just feel like it's either Friday or Sunday. It's not both. Why? But whatever. Let's move past that.
They're gonna...
They really are.
stretch it out.
They are.
All right, so last time Xavier won the POV, and we were all just waiting around for him to use it or not use it or do something.
Yeah, I mean, originally his plan was to leave the nominations the same and let Big D vote out Kylan, but now he's like, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust him. I might need to use it on Azah and have her take out Kylan because he knows that she will get the job done. Right?
Yes. So Kai and Xavier are talking, and actually, wasn't that Kai and Derek?
Big D.
Right. Yeah, they were talking, and Kai said, you know what?
Kai was picking a lot of fights with Big D this week, which I feel like was not smart, knowing that his fate could be in Big D's hands.
But Kai had his gentleman's alliance with Xavier, who he thought was going to honor the deal. So he probably wasn't all that worried, really.
True. He probably didn't think that Big D would even be making a decision this week. Kylan thought that he would probably be casting the vote. But here's the thing. Just because you made an idiotic move and decided to save Xavier with the power of veto
3 times.
Well, he didn't actually save him 3 times. It was like, oh, I didn't put you on the block. I didn't put you as a replacement nominee. And then like that other time he used the veto. But that doesn't mean Xavier is also going to be an idiot. Xavier is smart, okay? Xavier wants to win this game. But and he doesn't have to do some like, I'm going to take Kylan to the end because he's the second strongest behind me. No, he's going to be smart and win this game however he needs to.
But Kai kissed Big D.
Also, it's funny to me how Kylan feels like Big D didn't really do that much in the game, but when he was voting Hannah out, he was all, oh, Big D actually did do a lot of stuff this season. Is right.
Well, Big D can't stop saying that he doesn't know what he's going to do when he doesn't even know if he's going to do anything or not.
Yeah, he's been very wishy-washy this week because, I mean, we know, especially from his diary rooms, he wanted to keep Kylan, which is really stupid because Kylan wanted to go to the end with Xavier.
But Big D was afraid of going to the end with a woman because he thinks women will only vote for women.
Yeah. What an idiot. But anyway, let's move on.
Well, Big D tells Azah the most insulting thing you could in this game.
Well,
I carried you the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, he has also been causing drama with Azah this week, and he's telling Azah, I carried you the whole time, you wouldn't be here without me, blah, blah, blah. And Azah is not just gonna, sit back and take this. So she's like, what are you talking about? So I'm glad she really stood up for herself this week and was like, can you give me examples? And Big D's I lied, manipulated, blah, blah, blah.
No, he manipulated.
I mean...
Is that different than manipulate? It might be, right?
I don't know. But I will say, okay, that one week when Kylan was the HOH, yes, Big D told Kylan to put him up next to Brittany instead of Azah. But did that really, change anything? Did that really matter?
No.
I mean, it wasn't like he was actually in danger.
Big D's over it. He can't pull up any receipts, so he's over it.
Yeah, and that's another thing. He kept saying, oh, Oz is really getting on my nerves. But Big D was the one who kept saying, oh, I carried you. I got you this far, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So, Xavier, well, I just want to say, too, Xavier was like, if I can't trust Big D to make this move and vote out Kylan, then yes, I'm going to use the veto on Azah.
I was questioning the entire week. I was going back and forth in my own mind. Is this something that's smart to do, Xavier? Can you trust Big Dummy? I wouldn't.
Big delusional.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right, so it's time to visit the jury house.
Yay! Okay.
Brittany overreacting is everything.
So this jury house segment is a big deal because it's the first time that any cookout members will be going to the jury.
Right.
And they're going to be explaining what went down this season.
Maybe. All right, so Tiffany arrives and Brittany loses it.
I mean, I think everyone was sad to see her because, yeah, they were rooting for Tiffany. They wanted to see her go far, but first one out of the cookout. That's a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer. So they watch the tapes, and Alyssa knows that Kai wants to take X to the final.
Yeah, a lot of people were like, why did Kyland keep Xavier and get rid of Tiffany? It seems like a misstep. What is he doing? It does, doesn't it?
Because it is.
Yeah. So they're like, that seems really dumb. Unless maybe like there's something going on we don't know about. I don't know.
The guys are working together.
Yeah. So then Tiffany is explaining the formation of the cookout to everybody. She's telling them about her master plan.
I think she did a really good job.
I think she did too. And the jury was very receptive to all this. They were very excited to hear about Tiffany's plan, very proud of her for coming up with it. And I gotta say, I'm so happy that they gave her the props that they did because she deserves it.
The master plan was really smart.
And it was very, very well received by the jury.
The only thing was Sarah B was still not very happy with Kyland.
Oh, she's pissed at him. She's pissed.
Bitter, petty.
And she has every reason to be.
Oh, yeah.
Because he really like messed with her mind like on a personal level and everything.
Unnecessary.
Talk about telling unnecessary lies.
Yeah.
He's beyond.
Right?
Ridiculous.
All right, so Hannah arrives after Tiffany says, hey guys, it was a double. Did everyone get a double?
Yeah, they were all so sad to see her.
And they watch the tape. And everyone says, Ozza effed up.
Yeah. It was just like when we were all watching the double eviction. They were happy to see that Ozza won a competition. And then, oh, what is she doing? Why is she not going after Kyland or Xavier? Like, she's been talking about going after Kyland for such a long time. But she targets Hannah? What? So
it's pretty much confirmed that the guys are working together.
Yeah. At least they were at the time, anyway.
Yeah. Sarah Beth, still pissed at Kai. All right. Julie checks in because now is the time of the show when things start to happen.
Okay.
Things are going to get popping off.
We've got the power veto ceremony leading right into the eviction ceremony.
Right. So Xavier has to stand up and say, I don't want to use the veto.
Yeah, he didn't give, like, any explanation. He just said, I'm not using the veto. And I was like, okay.
Good.
So now it means Big D is going to be the sole
But
vote.
first, plead for your life. Ozza's up first. God. Julie clutched her heart.
I can't with Julie right now.
And then she said, hey, Big D, we made it. You're my true best friend. I want to spend the rest of these 6 days with you. Yeah. So good.
Keep me.
Exactly. And Julie, of course, was like, oh, Ozza, you're a child of God. Thank you. Kai says, I'm so thankful. I want to.
You got that laugh down,
right?
Yes.
I don't want to go. I want to be in the finale, Derek. And he called him Derek. Very formal. And Big D said, "Okay, here we go. This is what I've been training for all week."
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Big D got through this speech without any mess ups.
Yeah, right?
I know this is horrible to say, but I definitely thought he was going to, like, flub some lines here.
Julie was giving him some positive cues.
Please cast your vote to evict. I wasn't even talking about that. I mean, he was trying to think of, like,
he didn't go off script. This was totally on the book.
Okay.
So he said, I love you both, and I owe you nothing.
I thought it was a good speech.
Yeah. And I cast my vote to evict Kyland.
So this was a blindside. They did not give him a heads up about this. And at first, it looked like it was just going to be like, okay, he's a little shook, but he's going to leave. But then it got really, ugly.
It got
disgusting.
Disgusting.
Gross. Because
he said, I don't understand. Was there any reason why you did this to me, Xavier?
Yeah.
And Xavier's like,
He didn't even seem to be, like, super pissed at Big D. It was more directed at Xavier for not using the veto on him. So Xavier's like, it's the game.
Yeah.
It's the game. You'll find out more later. Like,
yeah.
You gotta get out of here, you know?
Yeah.
Julie's waiting. But Kylan was taking a sweet-ass time. Add this to the hashtag Kai Complains thread. He'd like to speak to the manager.
Yeah. Well, he brought up Xavier's nephew.
This was
that was disgusting.
It was so effed up.
How the hell could you do that?
Okay, just in case you guys didn't hear the backstory before, Xavier lost his brother not long before, coming on the show. And he has spoken about how he wants to help take care of his nephew and use some of the money if he wins to take care of his nephew and make sure that he's all set and he's okay. Mm-hmm. And Kylan just starts throwing that back in Xavier's face. And it was disgusting how personal this was, bringing up his nephew like that.
It looked like they were going to come to blows. And Julie started yelling, Kylan! Kylan, come out here now!
Yeah, well, Kylan was like, well, you didn't give me a heads up. Like, that's messed up. And Xavier was like, well, Big D was the sole vote to evict, so, like, I didn't want to... And then...
I didn't want to have you try and change his mind.
Which is smart, because we've seen Kylan all season with the non-stop talk and the brain melting. So then Kylan's all like, oh, well... Is this, like, what you want your nephew to see? Like, don't you want to raise your nephew to be a strong man?
Who's going to raise your nephew when he doesn't have anybody to look up to?
And Xavier, I have so much respect for him for not punching Kylan in the face.
Yes.
Because I would have.
Yeah. And then Julie said, the power of Christ compels you. Come out.
Xavier's like, you better stop talking about my nephew. Like, I know you're not talking about him right now. Like, it was really, really ugly. So Kylan is the worst. I'm sorry. That was so uncalled for.
He finally leaves.
I was shooketh. I have never seen something like that on the show before.
No.
I mean, there's been some, like, nasty exits, but that was, like...
That was very personal and very disgusting.
Yeah.
So Julie's hanging out with Kylan. She's like... Stay over there.
Yeah.
Big D evicted you. Are you shooketh? And he was like, yeah.
Well, he was saying he figured once Xavier didn't use the veto on him, he thought there was a possibility that Big D could be voting him out. Or, like, why else would Xavier do that if he didn't know that the plan was going to happen?
But then he went off on this tangent. I don't even know what
Kylan.
The hell he was even saying.
Babbling. He was babbling brook.
He was saying about how he wanted to play an honest game unless he had to lie. He was a strong competitor, him and Xavier, so they didn't have to lie, but he did, and then...
I'm sorry, but, like, it's only okay if you lie. This is a freaking game.
What about all the times you lied in the game?
He's lied many times, so it's a little bit annoying that
I think Sarah Beth has something to say about that.
So he's upset that he saved Xavier so many times, but Xavier didn't save him, and he wanted the winner to win with honor.
He just didn't want them to win at any cost.
He just wanted himself to win. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
He wanted himself to win.
But then, the goodbye messages. And Big D was like, I got rid of you because you stuttered. When I asked you if
about the
we
final
were good.
Two.
Yeah.
Also because Xavier told me to.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
And then I thought Xavier in the goodbye message did a good job of saying, look, you got. I had a better final 2 deal with Big D. I mean, how can you fault somebody for having a final 2 deal with somebody else?
I mean, not that this matters, but, like, he was working with Big D before he made a final 2 deal with Kylan. But also, he's making the smart move here, keeping weaker players. Mm-hmm. Hello, that's BB 101.
Then Kylan goes into hashtag Kai's looking for a bigger, better deal and said, Julie, I really want to come back. I want to be on the show again, Julie. I had such a good time.
I can't believe you have a gross exit like that and then you're asking to come back. That's like when Scotty...
He said it multiple times.
Scotty made, like, the blowjob joke, and then he was like, can I come back? No, I don't remember if he asked if he could come back or not, but that totally, like, ruined his relationship with CBS, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Remember the Tangela thing?
Yeah. Who could forget it?
Yeah. Well, anyway, that was that. And then Julie had an announcement.
Julie said, take him off the stage. I don't want to say this.
Maury, come get him.
Yeah.
I thought she was going to send Maury into the house when Kylan wouldn't leave.
Yeah, maybe. Julie sounded pretty heated. Like, she did not have control of the situation.
Well, I'm sure the producers were like, you got to get him out of there.
We can't do it, Julie. You have to.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Jesus helped her out. But it's time for America's favorite house guest.
The voting has opened.
And they get double. Did everyone get to double?
Double the prize money. It is now $50,000 for America's favorite.
There was a better return on America's favorite than there was on the actual winner of the show.
True.
Because the actual winner only got 1.5 times.
Mm.
But America's favorite house guest is getting double.
Nice. Well, you know what to do.
Vote. Vote early, vote often.
Mm-hmm.
And vote for whoever you want to win. Who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Tiffany.
I'm not voting, but if I were to vote...
Why don't you vote? Oh, because I'm using all of our votes.
I think I would probably vote for Claire. Because Claire, I feel like, was one of the very first... who was exposed to the cookout plan. And I thought she handled it beautifully.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Claire get some sort of consolation prize.
I think top 3, Tiffany, Derek X, and Claire. Those are my top 3. Let us know what you guys think in the comments.
Yep. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Okay.
Although the feeds are going to be down till 11 p.m. Big Brother time tonight. Mm-hmm. So they said. So I don't know what kind of a spoiler is going to happen tomorrow, but...
I'm also working tomorrow, so it's going to be like afternoon, evening, so...
Me too.
Yes. The spoiler will probably be in the morning.
Right.
Sometime.
It's probably going to be very short.
It's going to be short, I'm sure. If you can't see it live, don't worry, because it will be archived and available to view at a later time. So
okay. There you have it.
All right.
And you'll be back. Well, we'll be back with a recap
for tomorrow night's
night.
episode. Yeah.
And then another spoiler on Saturday. Yeah. And so on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Thank you all so much for watching. We will see you next time. And until then, much love.